Shalom. Kol Halalina Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of our body, and shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings be upon your households. Now, there's been a number of flight cancellations over the past couple of months, okay? And I don't know, this number 430 might be significant, because recently in Dallas there's also been 430 flight cancellations, if not more. All right, but either or, there's not usually a coincidence in things like this, but there's been a significant bunch of flight cancellations, and which, all different parts of the world, the UK, West Asia, or India, right? And India is like a hub. You got pretty much every nationality living over there. And it's a hub between the so-called Middle East and Europe. But a lot of people go back and forth doing business, and people travel there for holidays and things like that. And then you got recently as well, just yesterday, where was it? Oh, damn it, here we go. CNN, which was in Dallas. I think it was about 430 as well. Let me see if I got on Facebook. Which was September the 19th. Approximately another 430 flights cancelled as well.
Communicate with each other. Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Friday night. We do begin tonight with the chaos in the air for a time, the alarming moments for pilots flying passenger planes when suddenly air traffic controllers were unable to communicate with each other. A major radar and communications outage causing chaos at two of the nation's busiest airports. Air traffic controllers at Dallas Love Field and Dallas Fort Worth International unable to communicate with each other. Both airports forced to order ground stops, more than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed, not to mention the flights trying to land.
It said 430 on one page. I was over 100 flights happened in July in the UK, right? And then now America, Dallas yesterday, 430 or more. And here in May, 430 flights cancelled in, it is a major airspace disruption in India, right? Dallas airport flight cancellations. It says 530 flights here now. Okay, I thought it was 430. Okay, I mean, well, that's even more. That's good. Brakti Habashim Mashai, more cancellations. 430 flights cancelled Dallas. Okay. Okay, 430 flights. Salakia. 430 flights get cancelled. Around 580 gets delayed. Okay.
A telecommunications outage on Friday disrupted air travel at Dallas Love Field and Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. The Federal Aviation Administration reported that a local telephone company equipment failure caused air traffic controllers to lose radar and phone communications. This led to over 430 flight cancellations and approximately 580 delays at DFW, along with over 190 delays at Love Field. The FAA issued ground stops and delays at both airports, affecting flights departing for Fort Worth Alliance Airport, McKinney National Airport, and Fort Worth Miacom International Airport. Some flights already in the air were diverted to alternate airports, while others were held at their departure points for 30 to 60 minutes. Airlines, including American and Southwest, issued travel waivers allowing passengers to change or cancel flights without additional fees. The FAA worked with a local telephone provider to resolve the issue and restore normal operations. As of Saturday, the telecommunications outage has been resolved. The Federal Aviation Administration reported that the local telephone company equipment failure was addressed and efforts were undertaken to restore services and investigate the root cause of the outage. Normal operations have resumed at both airports, and airlines are working to clear the backlog of delayed and cancelled flights, it informed.
So there you go. Okay, it's probably about 430 flights cancelled in Dallas. 580 gets delayed, but here the number is gone into, he said about 1,000. Well, let's see what he says again. All right, so the fact of the matter is, okay, so you got the UK, hundreds of flights cancelled. That was in May, right? July was 430 flights cancelled, and that was India, right? 8th of May. Okay, so May, July, and right now there's probably more as well that we don't know about. Oh, sorry, I mean there's probably more that's happening as well, but I was trying to find out. It's not on any major news outlets, but it's very just touched on lightly, and from what I could tell, and obviously this is increasing and increasing and increasing as well, and ultimately what's happening here is, right, the Lord is just crushing the economy as well, because this is going to affect tourism amongst these countries. It's going to affect jobs. Okay, there's always a cycle. It's like effect. There's like one, every action there's a reaction. So it's going to affect the economy, people's jobs, right, and also tourism, right, and also it's because most of these airports are operated with via AI, but not with the elimination of humans. Okay, and where's that? Yeah, the airports are operated via AI, but not with the elimination of humans. So it's a combination of both. But this is going to lead to avoid further errors like this, cyber attacks, telecoms outages, and things of that nature. To avoid these kinds of things, they will eliminate the human element, which means it will be completely AI run. This is what they want to do, and ultimately, the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai is crushing the economy as well. Okay, to the point where people are just stressed further, so they crash out more. Okay, obviously this has an adverse effect. All right, every action has a reaction, right? And people react to different things in different ways. And obviously people usually have taken the snake juice as well with that C19 thing. So a lot of people are going to just crash out and snap as well at the same time, because along with the pressures and financial issues and people trying to get away with it, trying to sort of like forget about their problems, these things are happening as well. Let's just see what more we can find. Let's play this news segment actually. Actually, let's read a scripture first before Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High Yahweh Shemeshai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right. Okay. Revelation 12 verse 12. Okay. Because listen, we need Yahweh Shemeshai with us. You need that covering with the times that we're coming into. For this kingdom to crash and burn, right, the Lord has to pull several strings. Okay. Everything has to run in a pattern where one thing leads to the next, and the next thing leads to the next. So as I mentioned earlier, every action there's a reaction. So with that chain reaction, everything just collapses, like a house of cards. Like you got a house of cards built with cards, right? And you pull it apart piece by piece, right? You might stand to a certain degree, but you're like pulling it. You might pull out, one part of the foundation. It's kind of rocky, and then you might pull out another part, and then you pull out another part in the middle or the top, and then at some point that's going to crash. And this is what's happening right now. Yahweh Shemeshai is doing that. Okay, because and then and with the times that we're coming into, serious times, we need the covering of the Lord. So we need the whole armor of Yahweh Shemeshai, man. We need the whole armor. All right. Revelation 12 verse 12, and the name is very important as well. Okay, when you call upon the Lord, that name is key. All right, it's like having a computer. If you've got a password, how are you going to get into it? If you have the wrong password, how are you going to get into that computer to utilize it, right? So therefore, you want help of Yahweh Shemeshai, and if the Lord is working with you, the Lord is going to give you that covering. That's hence the reason why you have the name. Revelation 12 verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, airport disruptions. Okay, Europe, UK, West Asia, now America. All right, and it's going to keep happening and happening and happening. Okay, talks of everything going digital. All right, talks of eliminating the human element, so these mistakes don't happen again. Because with AI, apparently no mistakes happen, right? Okay, and this is what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to people being blamed. The powers that be will cause all the problems. Problem, reaction, solution. They'll blame certain engineers and whatever kind of individuals they want to blame in the hierarchy of workers, right? And then they'll eliminate them, and then they say, okay, we're going to use AI or whatever. So ultimately, it's going to, you know, just crush people as a whole, the economy as a whole, stress levels higher, right? And obviously, and along with that, tourism as well. All right, talks of World War III, talks of all the way the political climate is around the world, talks of going digital and the digital ID, right? So if you can see all these things that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is working, man. These things are happening. What? To crush the economy, man. And to crush Esau's world ultimately. Okay, to crush it completely.
Messages with controllers because outage causing chaos at two of the. Great to have you with us here on a Friday night. We do begin tonight with the chaos in the air for a time, the alarming moments for pilots flying passenger planes when suddenly air traffic controllers were unable to communicate with each other. A major radar and communications outage causing chaos at two of the nation's busiest airports. Air traffic controllers at Dallas Love Field and Dallas Fort Worth International unable to communicate with each other. Both airports forced to order ground stops, more than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed, not to mention the flights trying to land during all this. Pilots forced to relay messages with controllers because those controllers were unable to talk with each other. Whit Johnson leading us off tonight.
Tonight, chaos at two of the nation's busiest airports after a major radar and communications outage. More than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed.
We've lost all radar and phone communication.
Air traffic controllers at Dallas Love Field and Dallas Fort Worth International losing the ability to communicate with each other.
A lot of people won't even want to fly after this. If you think about it, if a pilot can't communicate with those individuals, I forget the term, that help you land the planes, it's quite a dangerous situation to be in, especially if you're with your family and your children. It's going to put panic in people's hearts. And a lot of people will say, you know what, forget it, I'm not going on a plane. I don't want to go on a plane with these mishaps that are happening, with all these issues that are happening on the technical side. Okay, ultimately, it's just basically just showing the inability of this world to function normally. Okay, because listen, back in the 70s, back in the 80s, right, when I was a child, you would very rarely hear of these things. If they did, they were just quickly taken care of, within a couple of hours. It was a very, very seldom situation back then. Now it's just like one thing after the next. It's like, what else could go wrong? It's like one thing after the next. Okay? And it's not going to put people ain't going to have a lot of faith in the society anymore. That's why a lot of people just want to bury their heads in the sand and stay home. This world is coming to a close, man. All right? It may look that it's getting busy, but it's not. It's really not as busy. Especially those of us that are old enough to remember how the world used to be. Damn it, sounds
anybody until we can get a system set up. We have no comments with the
ability to communicate with each other, causing ground stops.
I'm not departing anybody until we can get a system set up. We have no comments with the approach right now.
Listen, as a Southwest pilot in the air and still able to reach the tower, passed along a message between air traffic controllers who could not communicate.
An approach wanted to pass on to you to stop all departures. They can't get a hold of you. They're having some comm issues, I guess. Yeah, I think the entire escalation went down, but thank you. We got a hold of somebody.
Tonight, the FAA saying it was not their equipment that caused the outage, instead blaming a local telephone company equipment issue.
They're doing construction here at the airport. This happened a couple days ago where somebody cut a line and we lost everything.
And David, the issues are expected to last through the evening. The FAA says it's investigating and working with that local telephone company to determine the cause.
Then they just really let go of a bunch of employees at AT&T. Isn't AT&T a telephone company? Was that Texas or Dallas? Right? They're replacing them with AI, I believe. You know? Let me just check that out. AT&T employees let go. Okay. AT&T is reducing its workforce through layoffs, including 5,100 positions cut in the late 2024 due to growing AI adoption. See, cost-cutting initiative that removed 69,000 employees over prior 3 years. And just recently, there was footage, right? I think one of the brothers uploaded it. Okay, now one sec. Oh, AT&T layoffs. It's Dallas or Texas? AT&T employees layoff, Dallas or Texas? What was that, man? Footage of there's a so-called black woman saying, "Oh yeah, you know, she's the only white girl in the office," and all this, that, and the third. Face layoffs. Dallas move experiences post regarding AT&T layoffs. AT&T leaving downtown Dallas. Okay. Says it may be preparing for a shift in September 2025. Anyway, let's check out some other stuff. Days of delays at Heathrow after cyber attack brings disruption. Okay. This is 20th of September 2025. All right. Dallas disruption at one of the major, was it a major airport? Okay, one of the big ones. All right. And Heathrow is on this side of the Atlantic, right, is a major player when it comes to airports. It's probably one of the largest in the world, as they say. Right? September the 20th, updated to September 21st. Heathrow was among several European airports hit by delays on Saturday after a cyber attack affecting an electronic check-in and baggage system. Okay. So they're blaming a telephone company in Dallas, and over here they're blaming a cyber attack affecting an electronic check-in and baggage system. Okay. The airport said a number of flights were delayed as a technical issue impacted software provided to several airlines. Let's see what they say. We're not saying much, but you know, let's just check it out. What's happening? Okay. What? Okay, something else. The BBC understands that the British Airways is operating as normal using a backup system, but most other airlines operating from Heathrow have been affected. You know, we had an electricity outage here a couple of months ago as well in my neck of the woods. So there's a whole bunch of weird things that are happening. You know, electricity outages here in London, cyber attacks, telecoms communications failing in America. Let's go back to the news footage. Okay, and that was a issue with the baggage system there, right? September the 20th. But here in the UK, over 100 flights cancelled after a radar glitch. All right. Which is basically a form of telecommunication, right? Or communication anyway, right? A radar glitch. Over 100 flights cancelled after air traffic control issue. The same thing happened with Dallas a couple of months later. All right, so the Lord is just shutting this world down. Okay, so the UK, America, India, and other parts of the world, similar scenarios, similar issues, all in the space of several weeks apart from each other. Okay, so the scripture, man. To everything there is a season. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, and a time to break down and a time to build up. Okay? But this is the kicker here. All right? Now is not a time to build up. The Lord is plucking up that which is planted. All right? To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, and a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So the Lord is plucking up Esau's kingdom. All right? Because what did Esau say? Esau said that, right? Let's go to Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. After they were put away for a while, Mount Seir, then the Caucasus Mountains. Once they put away for a little while, right? They came back saying that they're going to build the desolate places, right? And when they came back, this is the world they built, obviously at the backs of the Israelites, but this is the world they built, right? And what did the Lord say about their world being built? This is the way the Lord is plucking and destroying their kingdom. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai of hosts, Lord of armies. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the people against the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai, have indignation forever. The Lord is saying that, you're going to build, but I'm going to throw down. All right? Whatever you build, I'm going to mash it up. I'm going to mush it up, as Benjamin would say. The Lord's going to mash it up, destroy it. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. And we know, if you know the history of the so-called white man, nothing but murder, carnage, theft, rape, torture of people. They never leave anybody alone. When do they ever leave anybody alone? They're the border of wickedness. All right, 430 treaties made with the tribe of Gad, native Indians. They broke every single one of them. What did Gad call these devils? Forked tongue. They never keep their word. Right? And these are just a few things that I'm mentioning. They're the border of wickedness, and the Lord and the people against the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Bashemeshai hath indignation forever. Indignation has righteous anger and hatred. The Lord hates them. All right? The Lord hates the so-called white man. Okay? That's why if you look around, it's all poetic. We can see that this place is falling apart. All right? It's falling apart. All right? See Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right? Time is short. You can't say that enough. All right? And we're approaching that. And you can see, if you can't really see, a lot of people actually think that this place is going to go on forever. It's just one of those things that happen. It's going to be rectified. This good old so-called white man, what people assume he's good, is going to come in there and save the day, like MacGyver. He ain't going to do that. You ain't going to fix shit. This is all being done by design, okay? And under the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yeshua to pull this world apart piece by piece, okay? To pull it apart piece by piece, okay? Financially, people's jobs, okay? Getting more AI, using AI a lot more and eliminating the human element, okay? That aspect, okay? Affecting jobs, okay? Then affecting the economy, tourism, people's mindset. People are already vaccinated with that ish in themselves, so they're going to snap even further. All right, people having stress piled onto them even more. Then they have to get their money returned to them that they spent, or whatever the situation that they may be put into with their flights delayed or cancelled. All right, stress upon the workers, stress upon the system, more crash outs and more burnouts. Will take place. All right, it's just going to be a cycle of destruction that's being created. It's going to lead to from one thing to the next, because a lot of people are going through a lot of things, okay? But a lot of people don't have that covering of Yahweh Hashem Mashai, because number one, even they're heathens, and then secondly, a lot of people that are even they're our so-called people are 2/3, or they're not elected for salvation, right? So they don't have the covering of Yahweh Hashem Mashai. All right, so it's going to lead to complete destruction. All right, we can say it, we can see it from afar off, but when it starts happening, right, and these things, it's like becomes like a damn, like some kind of like the movie The Fifth Wave, where everything was hunky dory. If you've seen the movie The Fifth Wave, right, where the girl goes to school, she's got a successful family, nice home, and all that. There's a guy that she's into, and the guy's into her, whatever. They go to high school, and then they go. I think that in the movie she goes to the evening party, and then lo and behold, what happens? The phone. I think in the movie where the phones don't work anymore, and then it's like soldiers are in the street, martial law troops. People are being rounded up. Okay, it's going to get to that point. All right. Okay, so the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is gutting this place inside out, man. All right, and we can see what's going on around the world with these flight cancellations. Okay, where everything is being pulled apart. All right, and they see the next what Esau wants to do is the New World Order. Right? If you see it's the same kind of pattern where different things are happening around the world, because we're in a global. What Esau has is a global community. So for this global community to take place, things have to have a similar vibration globally. Then they can push their plan globally, which will be the New World Order. Okay, which they want everyone, and they're already pushing that the digital aspect. Everyone has to have digital ID. Okay, then something else will happen with the phones. Or the phones aren't safe, right? Or they get stolen or whatever. Okay, so you have to put the CH chip in your hand. RF to the I to the D, Revelation 13:16. So all these different aspects are happening. Prophecies are coming to pass, which goes to show we are at the end. All right, we're at the tail end now. All right, so we can blatantly see, that our kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right, let's play this one as well. This is India. And if you notice, they're hitting all the major airports. All right, all the major hubs, all the major airports. Right, there's the real the busiest ones. All right, okay, Delhi, Mumbai, and places like that are very are like kind of like the financial hubs. It's like a financial hub of India. All right, very wealthy place. Okay, then you got Heathrow Airport, which is like probably one of the largest airports, I believe, in Europe. Okay, something along those lines anyway. Something along those lines anyway. And then you got Dallas. America is such a huge landmass. There's a bunch of big ass airports there, but Dallas, they say that is one of the largest also. Okay, parts of Europe. So these things are happening on a global scale. So what's Esau going to do? Try and provide a global solution. All right. Now with everything going digital, AI being pushed even further, right? Ultimately, they want to shut the world down and give it a rebirth. They want to Esau wants to do his renaissance again. Rebirth again. They think they want to expand their rulership even further. Okay, but they've had their time in the sun, man. Esau's time to rule is coming to an end, but these crackers want to extend it. Along with these heathens joining in, of course. They think they can get to a crumb of Esau's table.
Hours after India launched Operation Sindoor, striking 9 terrorist-linked sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, the ripple effects were felt in the skies. Flight operations across North India were severely disrupted on Wednesday, with Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport alone cancelling over 130 flights. According to sources, 65 arriving and 66 departing flights at the Indira Gandhi International Airport were cancelled. Even international flights weren't spared, with American Airlines among the foreign carriers calling off some of their services. 2 arriving and 2 departing international flights were affected. While Delhi International Airport Limited assured that all 4 runways and terminals remained functional, it acknowledged that changing airspace impacted several flight schedules. The airspace in the north of Delhi, which is closer to the Pakistan border, showed little to no civilian flight activity according to flight tracking data. Sensitive airports in that region were particularly affected. Leading Indian carriers like Indigo and Air India responded quickly. Both airlines cancelled all flights to and from critical northern airports, including Srinagar, Jammu, Amritsar.
She said cancel all flights to critical airports. Okay. You can see what's happening. All right. We got the sort of gist of what's going on. All right. Let's go to one more scripture, man. Ezekiel 7 verse 6. Ezekiel 7 verse 6. An end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. All right. So as you can see, there's a similar vibration around the world. Esau's doing his work. Yahweh Shemeshai is using Esau to do what Esau's going to do, to try and bring his new world order into fruition, which is not going to happen. All right. But this is just a good sign of that our Lord is returning and Yahweh Shemeshai is working, because the Lord is pulling this place apart piece by piece. And that's a beautiful sign. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Shemeshai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Shalom.